Hi there, my name is Rachel and this video is a part of my application for the internship. In this video, I really wanted to talk most about how conservation matters to me and how it's affected my life personally. And to do this, I thought I would use a couple of examples from the three countries that matter the most to me. Firstly, South Africa, where I was born and where my whole family is from. Secondly, the United Arab Emirates, where I spent most of my childhood. And thirdly, Scotland, where I'm now currently living and going to university. Africa has forever been a part of my life, and when I think of Africa, I think of animals. And I believe that this is where my sheer love for nature and my passion for animals comes from. Now, a South African conservationist called Lawrence Anthony describes in his books his love for conservation and particularly elephants. And in his books, he describes the importance of education. In his case, this is to do with the Zulu tribe next door to his reserve and their chief. When I was reading this book, it was really clear to me that the education was so important to teaching those involved with the animals and plants about how important they were. And that was the first major point of the success of protection for me, how education can make or break a species' survival. Secondly, I want to talk about the UAE. It has a completely different environment to South Africa. With summers of 50 degrees Celsius and winters of 30, the desert can be harsh for its inhabitants. Now, the national animal, the Arabian oryx, is iconic of the nation, and so I was shocked to hear that in 1968 it was almost completely extinct in the area. And I ended up coming across one of the most successful stories of conservation I'd ever heard. The late ruler Sheikh Zayed decided to make its reintroduction a personal goal for him. Some international oryxes were brought in and a breeding program set up. So from an animal that went from being almost completely extinct in the nation in 1968, now has over 8,000 in the wild and in semi-captivity. This for me is key when showing how conservation can be successful when people in the community come together to protect the species. The tourists, the locals, the biologists, and even those who were against the oryx to begin with, all came together. And that gives me my second major point, how community is integral to conservation. Thirdly, I want to talk about Scotland. So one thing that Scotland is known for, besides its rain, is the scenery. A species that's extremely rare and amongst all the bushes in Scotland is the juniper bush. A population of juniper acts as a support for a lot of species, insects, lichens, mosses, and it is vital to a healthy biodiversity of the area. And it's being attacked by a fungal pathogen which is having huge effects on the population. So now conservation efforts are in place, such as planting clippings, protecting seedlings, and this showed me how vital one organism can be to another in the delicate balance of an ecosystem. And that highlights to me my third major point, that each species is intertwined in a delicate equilibrium. Now, I know I've just spoken about some very niche examples, but I wanted to show how conservation affected me personally. Now, when it comes to the turtles in the Maldives, it is clear to me how conservation efforts can have a huge impact and that the three main principles that I've spoken about still apply: encouraging education, building the community, and protecting the species' role in the ecosystem. I believe it's really important to protect our planet, and I'm excited to be just a small part of it this summer. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble on, and I really look forward to hearing back from you. Thank you.